sports fans, and welcome to Curtis and Jacqueline Dale Softball Stadium on the campus of North Carolina State University here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Slightly cloudy day, but the sun is peeking through in the sky, and it is a beautiful day for softball. Hi there, everybody. I'm Drew Blevins alongside of Sam LaFell for this one. The final round-robin matchup for NC State here in the Doubletree RDU Challenge. The Wolfpack will be taking on the NIU Huskies in a battle for the first-place seeds. We'll head into the semifinals and finals tomorrow, Sam. Thus far, NC State has had a very easy time in this tournament, outscoring opponents in 10 innings, 2 5-inning wins by a total of 20-0 on Conglomerate. That's outstanding, and their offense has really proven itself this weekend.
Yeah, Drew, I mean, everything kind of speaks for itself up to this point. Pitching 2 short games yesterday, NC State's pretty rested for this game today. We just saw in this last game a pretty tight matchup between Loyola,
Chicago, and Delaware State, exactly.
So NC State is looking to come out in this game and just do what they did yesterday with 12-0 and 8-0 wins against those two teams respectively. So we'll see what NC State can do today.
Brittany Nimmo in the circle for NC State, the freshman pitcher. Pitched an absolute dandy one against Delaware State. Also had a hit in that game, a double to be exact. She opens up here with a ball to Callie Kosikowski, the shortstop for the Huskies, coming in batting at an astounding .417 average. Nimmo has struggled early with control in ball games, and here's no exception. Is already down in the count, 2-0 to Kosikowski.
And Nimmo, for a freshman, I mean, she's been doing pretty well this season. Not anything that really stands out as far as numbers go, but has a lot of room for improvement and shows a lot of potential for this starting rotation.
Nimmo coming in with a 3.82 ERA, 2 wins, 1 loss, and 5 appearances, 3 of them starts. This one her 4th. Rock back and the pitch. And that one hits the upper part of the strike zone, strike 1. True hitters count coming up here for Callie Kosikowski, and you'd imagine she'd get the swing away option from her head coach.
And at this point, Callie Kosikowski is not leading the team as far as batting average goes, but she's definitely pretty high up there as the second strike comes in.
Solid pitch from Brittany Nimmo, as that one hits the outside portion of the plate.
This is a very important at-bat for Nimmo, just to start off the game, get into her groove. She's been able to come back from this 3-0 count, get this full count 3-2, so we'll see what the payoff pitch does here.
20 hits on the season for Kosikowski. Started all 16 games for Northern Illinois. That one's a good rip right up to Martin, who has to go off the heel of her glove, and she can't quite handle it. And that's going to be scored as a base hit as Callie Kosikowski opens up with a single. The leadoff runner aboard for the Huskies.
Now batting number 10, right fielder, Katie Lamich.
Katie Lamich will dig in. The right fielder coming in batting at .308. 3 RBIs to her name. Kosikowski, a little bit of a threat to run. She's been 6 for 8 on stealing attempts this year, and she's at first. Square round bunt, pitch too high. Ball 1. I think you're going to start to see a lot of that today, Sam, as teams are starting to play small ball against the Wolfpack, just trying to get runners in scoring position and hoping that maybe a young pitching core is going to give them a chance to hit the ball. I mean, bunt laid down on the chalk and just foul as Hawkins comes in and scoops it up in foul territory.
As we saw in the game 2 games yesterday, I mean, 8 hits total, no extra base hits for the Wolfpack yesterday that were allowed. So teams shouldn't expect to use a bunch of power against the Wolfpack here, and just, small ball is probably going to be the best way to go.
1-1 pitch. No outs in the inning as Kosikowski standing on first after a hard hit single. That one high and inside. Throw back down. That may have bounced off of Kosikowski. Burrow's going to run back to get it. Yeager beats her to it. That could have been disastrous. Kosikowski had to get dirty to get back on the bag. But all will be the same, and nothing more than a little bit of excitement as we'll have the 2-1 pitch on the way. Into her motion and the pitch. That one inside again. Throw down to second is too late. Kosikowski has swiped a bag.
Just good awareness by Kosikowski, knowing that Hutchison probably wouldn't be ready for her to steal a bag with the squeeze on.
That was a good pitch to go on, too. Brittany Nimmo may have helped that effort. Hutchison, not an easy catcher to steal against. That was a good throw. Wasn't able to pop up and get all of her arm behind it. Still a good opportunity to throw down Kosakowski, was just too fast. That's ball 4. Runners on first and second and nobody out. And that's going to bring up Jenny Van Geertree to the plate.
Van Geertree, not the strongest hitter for NIU, definitely, with a 279 average, 43 at-bats and 12 hits. So nothing frightening here, but you definitely need to get your composure back if you're Brittany Nimmo. A good way to start it with the first pitch strike.
She has hit for the season cycle, though. Get this, 1 double, 1 triple, 1 home run, and a few singles to add to that. Into the motion and the delivery. That one's popped up on the bunt. Hutchison right under it. She's got it. Great play by Molly Hutchison out of the crouch. And just like that, 1 out in the inning as Van Geertree pops up on the bunt.
Great awareness by Hutchison there. Not to freak out when the ball gets popped up, but just first thing you do, get your head in the game and find the ball. That's exactly what she did.
Emily Nagel will dig in here. Nagley into the ball game as the the catcher. Senior batting .500 even. Those are video game numbers considering that she started all 16 games for the Huskies.
Yeah, very impressive numbers here from the catcher. So let's see what Nimmo can do here again. Another big at-bat for her.
Nagley up in the front of the batter's box. That pitch is upstairs. Nagley digging right back in. I mean, really astounding numbers. 5 home runs, 7 doubles, 17 RBIs. Team leader in that category.
Slugging percentage over 1,000 for Nagley.
Big pitch here coming for Brittany Nimmo, and a pitcher's counted 1-2.
And if I'm Nimmo, I'm trying to keep this low. I don't want Nagley to take me to the outfield. Like we saw right there, just a bit outside though.
Good pitch. Marty Abazachian not going to give her the call. Randy McLam down on first base. Philip Friels at the hot corner. Check swing low. Did she go around? Yes, she did! Nagley can't believe it. That was very close to being able to pull back, but it is going to be a strikeout for Brittany Nimmo. And just like that, after getting herself into a bit of a jam, 2 outs in the inning.
Huge strikeout for Nimmo.
Abby Howlett's the first baseman. She'll come in to bat here, batting .391. Still one of the higher batting averages on this NIU squad. Team that hits the ball very well. That one's low for ball 1.
Freshman Howlett has only started 7 games with 23 at-bats, though. .391 comes with 9 hits on the season.
And also a season cycle for her. 2 doubles, a triple, and a dinger.
She may be a freshman, but she still hits dingers.
How a good pitch on the high and tight inside corner for strike 1. Howlett, towering figure, very tall, long strike zone. Certainly likes to grab him and try to jerk him down that first base line. That one outside, 2-1.
Yeah, and if you notice, Yeager out in right field is playing off her spot a little bit more towards the line because she knows the tendency here.
Wind up in the delivery at 2-1. Off-speed pitch. Nimmo's not going to get the call. 3-1 hitters count.
I worry about Nimmo putting something here that's too easy to hit.
Not a whole lot of problems with walking Howlett either. That one's going to go right down the pipe. Full count again. Elaney Woolard, is on deck, and she's one of the lower batting averages on the team at 263. Full count delivery. And it's a stroll down to first base.
Nimmo walks, the bases loaded here, 2 outs. I mean, at this point, you're just looking to get this last out without giving up a run.
That's a tough one to swallow. I think Nimmo thought she was going to get the call, but she doesn't. Good at bat from Howlett. Really worked the count into her favor. Elaney Woolard coming to bat here. 263 average. Takes ball 1.
Willard is second on the team in home runs, though, with 4. So she doesn't lack power.
Well, and with the bases loaded, Nimmo's going to make a mistake. You got to make sure that you make it low and away and don't put it in a power alley here for her. 1-0 delivery. That one's upstairs.
2-0.
Nimmo looking a little shaky early, and Molly Hutchison recognizes that. She's going to come have a discussion with her freshman pitcher. And this is something Molly Hutchison does very well as a junior with experience. She'll go out and have a discussion in the circle. It won't be a long one, normally just a pep talk, and then she'll take the trot right back to home.
Yeah, you don't want to psych your pitcher out too much by telling him what to do or how to do it. Just let them do their job. Just try to calm them down a little bit. And that's exactly what Hutchison does.
NC State in the white uniforms with the red numericals. Red NC State written across the chest, black trim. Northern Illinois in their gray and black combo. That's a strike delivered across the plate at 2-1.
Seemed like conversation might have worked a little bit. Nimmo looked a lot calmer on that stride.
Into the motion and the delivery at 2-1. Swung on. Good contact, but that's fouled back behind the screen over home plate. 2-2 count even. It's a good crowd here in Raleigh today for this one. They're getting a little rowdy here. Bases loaded, 2-2 delivery, 2 outs.
Showing bunt. Pulled it back.
Pull back, swing and a miss, strike 3. That was a healthy cut from Woolard, but she comes up empty as Brittany Nimmo gets herself out of her own jam. The Huskies leave the bases loaded as NC State will grab the lumber. They're coming to bat in the bottom of the first. The score at the end of the top of the first inning. Northern Illinois 0, NC State 0. Pack coming to bat. You're watching NC State softball on GoPack.com and Wolfpack Sports Television. Welcome back to Dale Softball Stadium. Drew Blevins alongside Sam LaFell. The Northern Illinois Huskies had the bases loaded in the top of the first and weren't able to plate a run. Alex Friends in the circle for Northern Illinois today.
At shortstop.
Friends coming in with a 4.27 ERA, 4-2 record. 31 strikeouts to her resume. Only 4 wild pitches, 2 balks, and 3 hit batsmen. She'll open up to the senior shortstop, Lana Van Dyken. Strike 1 to NC State's number 10.
Van Dyken this season has been struggling a little bit. Not the best batting average, hit .222. But with the experience that she has as a senior veteran on this team, looking for her to come out and hopefully start this inning well.
She does have a little bit of speed to put out there on the base paths in the leadoff position. Perfect 5 for 5 stealing. No NC State runner has been thrown down this year. Most notably, that includes Tyler Ross, who's 11 for 11, set the school record a couple of weeks ago with 4 stolen bases against the Charlotte 49ers.
Tyler Ross has come out this year and is threatening to break a lot of records.
Lana Van Dyken would love to be a duck on a pond for Ross, who is on deck. 3-1 hitters count. That one's outside. Lana Van Dyken down to first base.
And this is a huge opportunity for NC State to capitalize off of bases loaded and no runs for NIU in the top half of this inning.
State likes to start quickly, and now you get into the most dangerous part of their batting order.
Left fielder.
Ross, Hutchison, Burrows, Hawkins, Summer. And those 2 through 6 spots in the batting order.
The next 5 batters we're going to see in the NC State lineup have at least 3 home runs each on the season.
That went outside. Van Dyken, healthy secondary lead. Nagley out of her crouch, and she was aiming down toward first base. Doesn't end up firing it down, but Van Dyken will be kept tight to the bag. Ross batting .397. Speaking with Sean Rychik in the pregame earlier, he made the comment, and quote, "Those were big league numbers." Nagley's going to come out and have a discussion with Alex Friends. It's her 6th straight pitch out of the strike zone, as now the count is 2-0 to Tyler Ross. And you just can't be intimidated by the NC State hitters, but you have to understand if you're going to make a mistake, you need to make it low and away. Most notably low. Don't let them be able to stroke one from about belt height. Called strike. Van Dyken trying to steal. Save! She's in there under the tag. Lana Van Dyken 6 for 6 and in scoring position.
Good jump by Van Dyken. Also a really good throw by Nagley behind the plate, but just not quite in time to get her. It was a close play.
It looked like the throw beat Van Dyken there. Good arm from Nagley, but Van Dyken not afraid to get dirt on the front of the white uniform. Slides under the tag. Ross strokes this one out of the left field. It's fair down the line. Van Dyken's going to come around to score, and Tyler Ross with an RBI standing double, and NC State has a 1-0 lead.
Tyler Ross with her 4th double of the season, 26th RBI, and that's 26th hit of the season also. So 26 and 26 there.
Now batting. Number 7.
Ross is a monster.
Molly.
Well, monster is exactly how I would describe her as well, and she set herself up in scoring position. Ross on the season, 22 runs scored, team leader in the category. And the catcher, Molly Hutchison, will come to bat here. Hutchison not quite as high of a batting average, but still impressive at .354. 3 home runs, 15 RBIs for the state catcher. Slow ball, throw back down to second base. That's a dangerous play from Nagley. Harnish had to come back over from second, cross over into the shortstop, Kosakowski's territory, to make that play. You throw an errant ball out into center field, Tyler Ross is fast enough to make you pay.
And as you mentioned earlier, Drew, 11 for 11 stolen bases on the season for Tyler Ross. So she's got power, she's got speed, she's got consistency. I mean, Tyler Ross has it all.
This is a stealing count, especially with nobody out if Ross wanted to go. Opts not to. 2-2 count now to Hutchison. And Sean Reichik does like to steal in those 1-1 and 2-1 counts when most of the time you're going to get an off-speed pitch. 2-2 delivery. Hutchison turns on it, misses her coach by a couple of feet. Lives to die another day. Sean Reichik, one of the coolest cats out there. That was an absolutely smoked foul ball, and Sean Reichik is still just casually strolling along.
He did not even flinch.
It's another day at the office for him. 2-2 pitch. Swung on right back up the middle. Ross is going to be held at third base. Good throw back in from Van Geertree. But it's a single for Molly Hutchison that goes right back up the alley. And NC State continues to pound the pitcher right now.
Great choice by Reichik. You know Ross has some speed, but 1-0, bottom of the first, no chance. I mean, no reason to test that.
And even more reason not to test it as Meredith Burrows will come to bat here. The sophomore first baseman batting at .293, 7 home runs on the season, 18 RBIs. There's a reason she's in that cleanup spot, and she'll take ball 1 there.
Had a 17 hits on the season. Meredith Burrows has 7 home runs.
Just certainly no shortage of power in her bat.
Not at all.
Nagley very active coming out of the crouch. She's trying to pin runners deep and back onto the bag. One pitch. Burrows hit it off the lower part of the bottom of her bat. The outside portion of the bottom of her bat, I should say.
Just rolled over top of that one a little bit. Outside pitch, tried to pull it just a little too much. So
Friends is ahead here at 1-2. That one is crushed, foul. Oh, look out over there on Morrill. You hope the fence contained that one. Still 1-2, nothing more than a long strike, but she put a charge into it. Has to reach out off the end of her bat. Movement down to second base as Hutchison will advance into scoring position. Meredith Burrows thrown out on the fielder's choice.
Worked as a bunt would have.
Now coming to the plate, number 36.
It's not necessarily a bad play.
Hawkins.
Maggie Hawkins is the 5th batter in the order, the senior third baseman, batting .344. 6 home runs to her resume. Slow balled in there. Good drop pitch. 0-1. Very difficult to gauge the speed on those, as Friends has given the gas a couple of times, and I think that's what Hawkins was looking for.
Good way to start the at-bat.
There's the speed pitch. Gets Hawkins to swing through it. 0-2.
Friends has done a good job here in this at-bat. 2 completely different pitches. Now if you're Hawkins, you don't really know what to expect.
Maggie Hawkins will dig right back in here. 0-2 delivery. Upstairs, Hawkins is able to chop it down the third base line to stay alive. Tyler Ross standing down on third base. Molly Hutchison, the catcher, on second. Friends in the circle with the ball. Into the windup in the delivery. Swung on. Hawkins grounds it down to third base. Picked up by Woolard. Throws to first. And the foot was on the bag. Good catch by Hallett. Tyler Ross does come around to score on the ground there down the third base line. And it's 2-0 for the Wolfpack. And now Molly Hutchison is on third.
That'll be Maggie Hawkins' 21st RBI in the season.
Number 44,
And add another run for Tyler Ross at
base.
23.
Hannah Summer.
This will be the junior second baseman Hannah Summer coming out to bat. Also with a good amount of power, Summer's got 3 home runs on the season for 15 hits.
First pitch to her is a ball. Summer's part of that interesting lineup card that Sean Rychik likes to work. She's listed as playing at second base, but is essentially functioning as a designated player as Molly Martin actually takes the field. Hannah Yeager is on deck should she be called upon. Upper inside corner for strike one.
We did see a home run from Summer yesterday, didn't we, Drew?
Yeah, yes, we did. That one just missed the light post by a couple of feet. Right center charge.
Pitch there from Friends bounced way before it got to the plate.
It just didn't look like it came out of her hand properly.
Definitely slipped.
Two 2-0 for the Wolfpack. Summer gives a cut to that one. 2-2. Well, as my good buddy Logan Sims would say, deuce is wild, 2 outs, 2-2 count. And the pitch. That one creeps in there low and inside, full count. It's been a rough start for Friends. NC State really likes to hop on their opponents early. Full count pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Good damage control done by Alex Friends, but NC State is able to push a couple of runs across in the bottom of the first inning. Huskies looking to answer as they'll come to bat. You're watching the Doubletree RDU Challenge, NC State and Northern Illinois on GoPack.com and Wolfpack Sports Television. Second inning on the way. Welcome back to Raleigh. Drew Blevins alongside Sam LaFell. NC State productive bottom half of the first inning. They're up a deuce on Northern Illinois. The Huskies will have 7, 8, and 9 coming up to the plate.
Designated player, Dominique Greeno.
Dominique Greeno, the designated player, leads things off here for Northern Illinois. Nemo. This is the zone high, ball 1.
And if you're just tuning in or possibly missed the first inning, there's only 1 hit on the board for NIU, but they had the bases loaded and were unable to score. So NIU just looking to gain some momentum after Wolfpack put 2 on the board in the bottom of the first.
Into the delivery, that one inside. Little brush back pitch. Did he just call that one a strike?
Yes, he did. That's a 1-1 count.
That's a very interesting call to me. I don't necessarily think Greeno's crowding the plate. She offers to that one.
Hit the light bulb.
That's 10 extra bonus points off the light bulbs. And that goes directly under the karma points category. I'm sure Northern Illinois would love to have scored some extra points off that, but straight off the light post, or else that may have been out on Cates Avenue. It's a solid delivery, but counts 2-2. Two-two delivery. That one offered at Hawkins, fields it cleanly, throw to first. Good play as Burrows completes it. 5-3 in your scorebooks.
Nice job by the Wolfpack to start this inning and get that leadoff hitter down.
Second baseman Becca Harnish.
Batting number 5, second baseman, Becca Harnish.
Harnish batting 176 on the season, 6 hits and 34 at bats. Started 13 of the 16 games for Northern Illinois, so hopefully you can get something easy here as you're facing the bottom of the order.
Called strike. Tell you something, did you ever play triple play baseball on any of the older gaming systems?
I did, yes.
A home run derby feature over there. You hit some targets and you get extra points. That's exactly what that foul ball off the light post reminded me of.
I was thinking the exact same thing when you said it. I just wasn't sure if that's what you were coming from.
Quickly 0-2 against Harnish.
I always thought they should make softball video games.
Just outside, misses 1-2. They were close to at one point. It was going to be part of the Little League franchise for Wii. So they did put out a Little League World Series video game, and there was supposed to be a softball component that went with it, but eventually shut down. That would be interesting to see, though.
They did make an NCAA baseball video game one time.
That one's upstairs, 2-2. Of course, now EA Sports have since come under fire from Ed O'Bannon, and eventually the NCAA franchise disbanded from EA Sports. But from virtual reality back to the softball field, here we go on a 2-2 delivery, and it's going to be a full count now. Harnish, good job working this count. Nimmo get right back on the stripe. From the circle, and Molly Hutchison calls time here. No, it's going to be a balk.
Ooh.
Brittany Nimmo balked, and down to first base will go Becca Harnish.
Rychik wants to come talk about this a little bit. Don't blame him.
That's a tough call to make, as it looked like she was about to go into that choreographed wind-up motion. Sean Rychik seems to be as satisfied as he could possibly be as he strolls back to the dugout. So a runner will be on base with one out. Caitlin Warren, left fielder, into the batter's box here. Warren, not outstanding hitting statistics, only batting .222. First pitch ball to her.
Not outstanding. If you're looking at a lot of these hitters for Northern Illinois, not many of them, I mean, aside from Emily Nagley and catching, do a whole lot, even including striking out.
Well, I mean, you do have Kosikowski, who's batting well, and the upper portion of their lineup has good averages. Really, the only power, as you alluded to, is Emily Nagley. Northern Illinois was watching intently yesterday's ball game between NC State and Delaware State. That entire roster was lined up on the third base bleachers. The coaching staff was right back behind home plate, and they were really scouting as Hutchison pops out, doesn't fire down to first. Healthy lead on the bag from Harnish. And for Northern Illinois, I mean, this game has a lot of bearing on what their seeding could be in the tournament. They need to make sure they try to keep this close in order to hold that second seed. That one is smoked all the way to the wall. Yeager after it. She's going to throw into the cutoff, and they're going to hold the runner at third. That's a solid piece of hitting from Caitlin Warren, as she'll have the standing double and a couple in scoring position. The tying run on second base for the top of the order, Callie Kosikowski.
10 games started for Caitlin Warren. That was her first double on the season, her 7th hit on the season. So good timing on that. Way to just drive it out to right field, and Rychik's going to come talk to his pitcher now.
Well, you really can't blame him. Brittany Nimmo, can't say she's played poorly necessarily, but has had some control issues, and you wonder if that's just freshman jitters. Northern Illinois, a little bit more of a well-known school, especially in Raleigh. Dave Doran, the head football coach here at NC State, came from Northern Illinois when he was hired away by Debbie Yao. So certainly it's a little bit bigger of a school name than, say, a Delaware State or Loyola Chicago, and you wonder a little bit of nervousness. But for Brittany Nimmo, as a freshman, she's been very, very solid in the circle. She's been a nice supplement to Courtney Mirabella, who's taking over for Emily Wyman in what should be considered that #1 pitching slot. And Sean Rychik, along with Molly Hutchison, just going out there to try to settle down the freshman Nimmo. Northern Illinois had their own coaches meeting between the base runners and the batters, who will be Callie Kosikowski. singled earlier in the ball game.
Now batting number 32.
This is very dangerous now if you're Brittany Nimmo. You've got the top of the lineup, like you said earlier, Koskowski batting .417 on the season, so interesting to see how it's going to go.
Still only one out in the inning and a free base down 75 feet away. First pitch strike.
Good way to start the at-bat from Nimmo.
Kosikowski right back into the plate. The delivery. She's going to lay down the bunt. Squeeze play, foul. You could not ask for a better bunt laid down, save that it didn't have so much side spin. It's a couple of bounces, a dribbler maybe 10 feet off the plate. And Harnish was practically at home when any of the NC State fielders picked that ball up.
If that had stayed fair, it probably would have been safe everywhere.
Well, now Kosikowski with the bunt foul. Down in the count, 0-2. Here's the delivery. Low and away, ball one.
Missed low and away, but at the same time, you can't be too upset about that because you're missing low and away. It's the best spot.
Well, and it wasn't a bad ball either. Just below the kneecaps, just outside the strike zone, and it's hard to lay off of with 2 strikes. Good eye from Callie Kosikowski. Into the motion and to the delivery. That's upstairs, 2-2. Might I just say that here at the Doubletree RDU Challenge, we have some of the best names in softball that are playing in this tournament. For Delaware State, pitcher Tara Tersalino, and now coming to the plate, Callie Kosikowski. And as a broadcaster, that's your dream to get some of these long names and be able to reel off those pronunciations. Certainly makes it fun. Kosikowski sends it right over to Martin. Going home, the plate! She is out! And now this is going to prompt a discussion from Christina Sutcliffe, as it looked like Harnish touched the plate. Home plate umpire Marty Abizatian says differently, and that's why Hutchison had to apply that second tag. Sutcliffe will head back down the third base line, pardon. It's his second out on the fielder's choice. Smart play to go back home by Molly Martin, though, not allowing that run to score.
That was just a heads-up play there by the first baseman Meredith Burrows to get the out at home instead of trying to get that out at first. You're keeping NIU off the board.
Digging in here is Katie Lamich. Walked last time up, reached second base, and the bases loaded jam, but Northern Illinois cannot push a run across. That one down the pipe, but low. 2-0 now.
2-0. Luckily now, if you're Nimmo, you got that force at first and second. If you put something low.
Do have to be careful, though. You do not want Warren off and running. That one upstairs. Good fastball. Called strike in the upper part of the zone.
I mean, if you're NIU, you really need to push the issue here. You need a run.
Van Dyken fields it cleanly, fires to first, close play, but she got her by a step, and NC State prevents another run from scoring. The Huskies so very, very close to pushing a run across, but they cannot do it as they strand another pair out on the base paths. NC State looking to add to a 2-0 lead going into the bottom of the second inning. You're watching the NC State Doubletree RDU Challenge. Wolfpack and Huskies, bottom of the second. On the back to the Doubletree RDU Challenge, Drew Blevins alongside Sam LaFell. NC State up 2 on the Northern Illinois Huskies in a game that will determine the first place seed as we head into the semifinal and final portion of the tournament that gets bracketed off. Hannah Yeager leads things off here. NC State went with the exact same amount of batters in the first inning as Northern Illinois. The difference is they were able to push 2 across. NIU straining a couple more on the base paths in the top of this inning. Still cannot manage to push a run across.
This is 3 different times this game that NIU has had runners at third, and they haven't been able to get anything home.
Good play by Molly Martin to throw that ball home. And eventually she threw out Harnish, who came in. 2-1 pitch here. Offered at by Yeager. She wasn't far off of it. Strike 2.
Yeager this season, unfortunately, struggling a little bit. 3 hits and 28 at-bats, only 2 RBIs to show. 7 runs scored, though.
Junior, a very reliable outfielder. That is upstairs, and the throw back was off, and Yeager thought she was about to be off to first base, and no, it's only a full count.
A lot of things happening right there.
Delivery here, upstairs, and this time Hannah Yeager will take the stroll down to first. And NC State has another leadoff runner on, courtesy of a walk. Brittany Nimmo will dig in here, and this is ultimately why that roster shift, with Hannah Summer initially being listed at second, Molly Martin playing the position, becomes interesting and an advantageous move for Sean Reichik, because Brittany Nimmo is going to hit for herself in what would normally be considered the designated player spot. Nimmo stroked a double in yesterday's contest against Delaware State. Beautiful piece of hitting.
Now batting, number 20, pitcher, Brittany Nimmo.
And obviously in baseball, this is not something you would see. You wouldn't see the pitcher hitting for themselves except in the National League of the MLB. But in softball, I guess it's a little bit different. You know, your pitchers are better hitters. They want to hit more.
I mean, still, you do have the designated player option, and in softball, that is why it's called the designated player, not the designated hitter. 0-1 against Nimmo. Wind up in the delivery. That one on the upper inside corner for strike 2.
And you'd love to see Nimmo capitalize on Yeager's walk and at least try to push Yeager up to second base here.
Big cut on the drop pitch. Strike 3 to Brittany Nimmo. She was put on skates there, never really got her timing down. And it's going to be sophomore outfielder Macaulay Prickett with the runner on first. Prickett has enjoyed a good weekend hitting-wise. She has a couple of base hits to her name. Native of Petaluma, California. Prickett batting .357 in her now 12th start. Has appeared in 19 games, now 20 for the Wolfpack. Hefty cut, throw down to first. They got her! Yeager thrown out by Nagley, and it's going to be 2 outs now as Macaulay Prickett will still dig in there. And that's the first time an NC State Steeler has been picked off. That's a great throw coming from Emily Nagley. Really good power behind it. Perhaps the location was really what sold that, as well, as Yeager had no option but to slide right into that tag.
Good location, good arm. Everything about the throw is pretty much perfect. That was also Yeager's first attempt on the season for a stolen base, and flaunted.
Count 2-0. Prickett, see a few more pitches before she has to swing. She's going to slap that one right over to second base. Speedy play down to first. Got her. Solid play from Harnish on the good throw over to Howlett. NC State down in short order, 1-2-3. Huskies grabbing the bat. They'll come to the plate in the top of the third inning. You're watching NC State softball on GoPack.com and Wolfpack Sports Television.
Jenny Van Geertree.
Jenny Van Geertree coming to the plate for the top of the third inning here from Raleigh. Drew Blevins alongside Sam LaFell. The Doubletree RDU Challenge on Wolfpack Sports Television and GoPack.com All Access. Opening strike to Van Geertree. Nimmo into the windup and the delivery. A little bit of off-speed stuff. Misses the plate. 1-1. Van Geertree with an opportunity to lay down a sacrifice bunt, but it went off the top of her bat, and Molly Hutchison came out of the crouch to make the play back in the first inning. Into the motion and the pitch. That one on the outside portion of the plate for a called strike. Not a whole lot Van Geertree can do with that pitch. In general, it's just such a great location.
Good location. When you have control of that location like Nimmo did right there, I mean, it's going to be hard for anybody to do anything against you.
Then Geartree fouls that one off of the inside of herself. Still 1-2.
And so often in baseball or softball, batters are going to want to pull the ball. So when you can put that low and away, I mean, unless someone has good control of their opposite field power, I mean, it's going to be hard.
That one going right over to Van Dyken, who cannot make the play, as that beat her by about a half step to the spot. Well hit ball and a base hit for Van Geertree.
That'll put the freshman center fielder on first base with your senior catcher, Emily Nagley, coming up to bat.
Nagley represents the tying run at the plate. Struck out earlier in the ball game. Certainly she's the bastion of power on this Husky roster. Sends that one right back up the middle. Nimmo fires over to second. Dropped! And all the way to third goes Van Geertree. She advances from corner to corner on the poor throw from Nimmo. Martin couldn't quite handle it. Now runners on the corners, nobody out.
That's a very interesting position now for Brittany Nimmo. Your runner on first, Emily Nagley, not much of a threat to steal back, though she is 1 for 1 on the season. But I wouldn't be surprised if she tried to get another one here.
Runners on the corners, no outs. Howlett, the batter. Nagley, good secondary lead. Good pitch from Nimmo. Abby Howlett, the first baseman, walked earlier in the ball game. Got a bigger strike zone, certainly more of a towering figure than either of the previous two batters that Nimmo has faced. That one gets away from Molly Hutchinson, coming back home. Hutchinson lays the tag down, but it's too late. Northern Illinois is on the board. Coming around to score is Van Geertree. Good awareness on the base paths.
This is not a good situation for Brittany Nimmo now.
Both runners advance a bag on the play. We'll see if that's going to be scored a wild pitch or a pass ball.
Wild pitch.
Wild pitch to Brittany Nimmo, says the official scorers. That one wasn't far off from being able to be pulled back down in Hannah Yeager's direction. 1-2 now to Howlett. Nagley on second. Delivery to Howlett. Check swing inside. Sean Reichik is saying that he thought it was fouled off. Sounded like that may have grazed off the inside of her bat. This has been one of the themes going on this week, is a couple of balls have grazed awkwardly off the end of the bat, but it's going to be called a ball nonetheless. This is a 2-2 count. Wind up at the pitch. That one low. Full count.
Good stop by Hutchison back there to not let that ball bounce around too much.
Well, now how big is a foul ball that might have been missed? It's now a full count situation. This is a do-or-die pitch here for Nimmo. The delivery swung on. This is crushed all the way out to center. Going! No! Yes, it is.
Yes.
It hit off the netting and bounced back into play, and it threw off my eyes. That's a home run. What a shot from Abby Howlett, and the Northern Illinois Huskies have the lead at 3-2.
It's Howlett's second home run on the season, and a good time for it. Huskies now up 3-2, and Wolfpack just need to get their composure back and get out of this inning without any more runs coming out. No outs in the inning also.
3 up, 3 runs for Northern Illinois. They have stolen the lead away from the Wolfpack here at home. Abby Howlett with a go-ahead home run, and Sean Reichik is coming to have a discussion with the home plate umpire, and we'll see if there's a change about to be made here.
And if there's a time for Brittany Nimmo to try to get her composure back, you're looking at it right now with the 6, 7, 8 hitters in the lineup. But
Doesn't look like she's going to get the opportunity, though.
Nope, looks like Reichik's about to pull her.
We'll see. There may be another hitter coming in here for Northern Illinois. Certainly the Huskies have a lot of players that they can go to with a bench roster that's absolutely loaded. It's having another starting roster and then some. Brittany Nimmo will take the early exit. A tough one for her. Almost positive she would have stayed in the ball game if that home run had not been given up. Makes the mistake over the middle of the plate, though. And it's going to be Harley Hubbard to come into the ball game here
Now into pitch for the Wolfpack.
for NC State.
Number 13, Harley Hubbard.
Hubbard normally coming in for saving and closing situations, but you'd imagine Courtney Mirabella is being saved for the start in the afternoon game for the Wolfpack. Hubbard will come in, essentially starting fresh here in the inning. Nobody out on the base paths for Hubbard.
This is very important for Hubbard to try to come back for some of her starts in the season. She has an ERA over 7 on the season. So you're just looking for Hubbard to get some composure back for herself, but also for this Wolfpack squad who's now lost the lead in the top of the 3rd inning.
She'll take her warm-up pitches here. Hubbard, a very capable hurler for Sean Reitchick and company, and her infield mates will come to support her at the back of the circle. Amber Watson trotted out there like she might potentially be a pinch hitter here, but she's going to head back to the dugout. So nonetheless, it is going to come back down to Eleni Woolard, the first baseman. Struck out earlier in the ball game back in the 1st inning, as Harley Hubbard will face her first batter of the ball game. Nimmo with 2 innings pitched to her resume. And now the Hubbard era begins here in the top of the 3rd. That one down the pipe downstairs, ball 1. Woolard coming into the ball game, batting at .263. That one's downstairs as well.
Hubbard doing a good thing by keeping the ball low, but needs to pick it up, get it in the zone a little bit.
Certainly Northern Illinois is not going to be a team that is going to allow you to make mistakes and miss the strike zone. They're going to force you to throw one in there. That one's down the pipe, strike 1.
And in the inning, obviously riding momentum right now is 3 runs off of 2 hits and an error in the inning.
Certainly frustrating for the Huskies the way they opened the tournament, losing to Delaware State in 9 innings. I mean, this could be a game where you'd be looking at taking the #1 overall seed outright, 3-0. NC State has that opportunity. But for Northern Illinois, they were set up poorly going into their game against Loyola, and the Ramblers are all over them in the early portion of that game, and Northern Illinois comes back courtesy of a 9-run 5th inning. And that's right, you heard me, 9 runs in the 5th. And ultimately, because the Huskies took so long to play their first game and eventually have that explosive inning in the 5th, that's one of the reasons the tournament was thrown so far off schedule by a little over an hour. NC State was slated to play at 2:30 yesterday and instead had a first pitch time of 3:41. Hutchison fires down to first, and she'll go around the horn of the strikeout from Harley Hubbard.
Huge strikeout for Harley Hubbard to start this inning, start her spot in this
Now
inning.
batting number 19.
We see number 19
Greeno.
designated player Dominique Greeno coming up to bat now.
Greeno grounded out to Maggie Hawkins. That was the first play of the 2nd inning. Green batting in back-to-back frames here. Watches that one on the outside portion of the plate for strike 1. It's a really good pitch from Harley Hubbard. She is bringing a little bit more speed than Nimmo had working for her.
Yeah, she's hurling the ball.
Going back to the speed pitch, same location. Quickly 0-2. Hubbard is a streaky pitcher. Either she's going to be on target all day or completely off, and there, a little bit less speed. She takes it off. 3-pitch strikeout for Harley Hubbard. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. 2 outs in the inning.
Becca Harnish.
Way to go from the sophomore pitcher here, just letting the Huskies have it.
And 4 straight strikes, same location.
Wasting no time.
Harley Hubbard back in, same location. The outside pitch, 0-2 again.
Take control, madam.
0-2 pitch, Hubbard into the motion, fires, and this is fouled off. Really good job by Becca Harnish to get around on that and at least get a piece of it. Hubbard a pitch away from 3 straight Ks. And that one misses high and away.
Well, they're chasing outside, so why not test it a little bit?
That one pushing the boundary a little too much, as that was about brim height on the batting helmet. 1-2 pitch on the way. That one misses outside. Decent location if you're trying to get the swing to be forced out of the second baseman, Harnish.
She hasn't done it yet, but I'd like to see Hubbard come inside a little bit.
Might try to vary it here.
Nope.
Still going high and away. Sean Rychick did make the comment earlier, speaking in pregame, about how some teams are having difficulty hitting the outside pitch here, and that's really across the board from Delaware State to Northern Illinois. Full count delivery. That one's downstairs and away. Very, very close to having a strikeout, but there is going to be a runner on with 2 outs, and that brings up Caitlin Warren, the 9-hole hitter.
Now batting number 23, Caitlin Warren.
Warren stroked a double back in the second inning, and that was what catapulted the offense forward for Northern Illinois. It could have been 4-2 or more. Nimmo did lead some base runners out there. Here's the delivery. That one misses low. And now Molly Hutchison will come out and speak with Harley Hubbard. Wind is blowing from left to right field slightly, just enough to wave the flags, which are at half-mast here at Curtis and Jacqueline Dale Softball Stadium in memory of Nancy Reagan, one of the most influential first ladies who passed away last Sunday, age of 94. Really one of the most influential figures in American history, especially in the last 50 to 60 years. 1-0 pitch. Called strike, and Hubbard popping the mitt in that high outside corner.
As far as we've seen, she's just going to keep working that outside corner.
That's exactly what you want to see her do. If it's working, it's working.
Look at
Same
that.
location.
Just rein it back in a little bit. Don't keep it too far outside, but just enough to keep
Well,
batters
Randy
on their
McLam,
toes.
Randy McLam's strike zone was really exclusive of that outside corner, and now it's wide open daylight here for Harley Hubbard. 1-2 delivery. Swing and a miss!
There it is.
Tipped into the mitt. Molly Hutchison secures it. Another strikeout for Harley Hubbard.
3 runs.
One runner stranded on base, but Harley Hubbard comes in and does just about the best that you could possibly have hoped or asked for, as she strikes out 3 of the 4 batters she faces for 3 outs in the third inning. NC State down a run, but coming to bat at the bottom of the third. You're watching the Doubletree RDU Challenge on GoPack.com and Wolfpack Sports Television. Welcome back to Raleigh. NC State trailing for the first time in the Doubletree RDU Challenge. Lana Van Dyken's the top of the order. She'll lead things off here in the bottom of the third inning for NC State. Walked back in the first inning. Of course, then you get into the power alley of the lineup. Ross and Hutchison round out the first 3 batters for NC State. Called strike there to Van Dyke, and that'll draw a couple of groans from the State faithful.
You're excited to see what the Wolfpack can do at the top of this lineup. I mean, last time around they scored, so who's to say they won't do it again?
Friends let that one go a little late in her delivery, and you know, you see pitchers do that. That's typically why that ball's arcing up so high. Van Dyken pops this one out to center field. Under it is Van Geertree for the first out of the inning. Tyler Ross will dig back in here for NC State. Ross stroked a double down the third base line earlier. Really a beautiful piece of hitting, inside out.
I mean,
Scored Lana Van Dyken.
Oppo for Tyler Ross.
Ross, very consistent hitter. Launches that one in for a called strike.
Friends took a little bit off that.
Sean Rychik and Katie Grimes remarking Ross a little bit of swagger about her game since she has had such a successful season. Sort of saunters about. You love to see that, and that's why Tyler Ross to the wall. It's gone. Tie softball game. Tyler Ross. Solo shot to left field, and it's 3 apiece on the scoreboard.
27th hit on the season, her 10th home run for the campaign for Tyler Ross. Just unbelievable. Sean Rychek said big league numbers.
Leader in the ACC in the category. And you can just call her Touch 'em all Tyler, because that's all she does. That's outstanding. Free t-shirts to the crowd with the home run, and Molly Hutchison will come to the plate, seeing if NC State can retake the lead here in the bottom of the third.
Number 7, Molly Hutchison.
I mean, she just makes it look so easy, Ross does. Nice, easy swing with the opposite field power. Man.
Friends delivers. Misses that one low and inside for ball 1. Hutchison sitting on a pitch. That one curves into the strike zone.
Definitely took a little bit off of that one.
Well, no, Alex Friends has been very good in the circle. Changing speeds, changing eye levels. That one misses outside. And that has fooled some of the NC State hitters. 2-1 delivery. Hutchison turns on a ball that is quite a ways inside, up about shoulder height. Looked like more of a defensive swing than anything. 2-2 now.
NC State yesterday, 12-0 win, 8-0 win, both 5-inning games. So Friends definitely having more success today than either of the teams did yesterday versus NC State lineup.
Wind up of the pitch. That one hits the outside corner. Called strike 3. Alex Friends. Solid pitch right on the outside portion of the plate for the second out of the inning.
Coming to the plate, number 14.
We're going to see our sophomore first baseman, Meredith Burrows, coming up to bat now.
Burrows hit into a fielder's choice earlier. Called strike on the outside portion of the plate. Seems like nearly a capacity crowd here at Curtis and Jacqueline Dale Softball Stadium. Growing frustrated with Marty Abizatian in his strike zone. That one right down the pipe, quickly 0-2 against Meredith Burrows. That one misses away. Burrows, not quite the weekend she wanted to have, has still played well, but always looking for more. A sophomore, highly driven, both as a student and an athlete. Swings through that one, strike 3. 2 big strikeouts after the home run for Tyler Ross. Ties things up for NC State. We've got a barn burner going on here in Raleigh. 3-3 through 3. Top of the 4th coming up on GoPack.com and Wolfpack Sports Television. Welcome back to the little slice of heaven between Cates and Morrill. Drew Blevins alongside Sam LaFell. Top of the 4th inning from Raleigh. NC State ties the softball game up on a solo shot from Tyler Ross, her 10th of the season. Northern Illinois coming back to the plate here, looking to answer.
Leading off for Northern Illinois, number 32, Bailey Kazakowski.
Score is tied, but I wouldn't say momentum is. Harley Hubbard with 3 strikeouts in the last inning, facing 4 batters. NC State coming up. Solo shot by Tyler Ross, tying the game. Rough start to the inning, though, for Harley Hubbard.
Well, that one certainly resembled more of something you'd see Pete Weber do in the bowling alley than a softball pitch, as that one bounces into home plate. Solid speed on it, but it's a ball that Harley Hubbard will certainly want to forget. Hubbard's been nothing short of brilliant in her first inning of pitching. That one misses downstairs, ball 2 in a count. Callie Kosakowski, the shortstop, up to the plate here. Kosakowski singled and hit into a fielder's choice earlier in the ball game. That one on the outside corner for strike 1. And that's where Harley Hubbard's been going all game long, is consistently hitting that outside portion of the plate.
If she can keep it over the plate and keep it out there, I mean, it's probably going to work pretty well for her.
Here's the delivery. Bunt just into the other batter's box, foul. Two now. Kosakowski, she tried to just push that one down the first base line and tilted her bat a little too far back at the last second, and that's just why it hit in that opposite side batter's box. 2-2 pitch, high and away, full count. Hubbard does not want to put Kosakowski on base. After Lamich, she's got the heart of the lineup with Van Geertree, Nagley, and Howlett coming up, and they've been the real money makers for the Huskies. Leadoff runners on base with a walk.
A little bit low, and we've already seen Kosakowski steal one today, so wouldn't be surprised for her to try to steal another one.
Lamich grounded out and walked. She'll receive a little bit of instruction from Coach Sutcliffe down the third base line. Northern Illinois really hanging in tough with NC State. That one's downstairs, ball 1. Huskies have batted around a couple times now.
Their batters are certainly not shy to the batting box to this point in the game. They've gotten a lot of people up. Not a lot of production for the amount of runners that they've had on.
I think that if you are looking for the bad portion of this game for Northern Illinois, is that they've had opportunities and haven't converted, and they're in a tie ball game that, quite honestly, they could be up 5 or 6-3. And Kosakowski going down to second. The throw is in time.
Ooh.
Kosakowski was tagged out by Alana Van Dyken right on the backside of her cleat. Good throw from Molly Hutchison. A better tag from Van Dyken, and there is one out in the inning.
I'm not convinced with that call.
I'm not so sure about that one either. The third base umpire is Philip Friels, and he had the view on that. It was close, and it's very difficult to make that call when you've got the runner reaching the bag on one end of the play, and you've got the tag going on the other end of the runner down at her heels, and Kosakowski was just tapped by Van Dyken.
A lot of the problem there, Hutchison didn't notice that she was stealing at first. Hutchison was not ready for that play at all.
Check swing, Burrows picks the ball up and tags out Katie Lamich. And now it's going to be Jenny Van Geertree up to the plate. Van Geertree had a single earlier, ended up scoring a run as she came around on the hit from Nagley, fielder's choice. Here's the pitch. Down the pipe, strike 1.
Nevertheless, whether the call was right or not, we now have 2 outs. Harley trying to get out of this inning pretty much unscathed, as much as you could ask.
That one just misses outside. For the Pack faithful here, hoping for a little 2-for-1 special. NC State wins, and they'll get a little bit of a rest, get some fluids in the body, and they'll head right back out to play at approximately 2:30. Most likely that game would be against Delaware State, a team that they run-ruled 12-0 yesterday. Wind up in the pitch, high and away. Molly Hutchison getting her workout for the day. She's had to be brilliant back behind home plate.
I mean, really, both these catchers, Emily Nagley and Molly Hutchison, both doing a good job today being active.
This one popped up to center. Macaulay Prickett is under it and makes the catch for the third out of the inning. Well, Northern Illinois had a runner, the leadoff runner, on first, but Kosikowski was thrown out stealing. NC State locked up in a tie ball game heading into the bottom of the fourth inning. You're watching NC State and Northern Illinois, part of the Doubletree RDU Challenge for softball on GoPack.com and Wolfpack Sports Television. Curtis and Jacqueline Dale Softball Stadium, sunny Raleigh, North Carolina. Gorgeous day to be outside and watch some softball. Maggie Hawkins leading things off. Alex Friends' first pitch is in the dirt for ball one.
We're starting with the number 5, Maggie Hawkins, come by 6 and 7, Hannah Summer, Hannah Yeager. So Maggie Hawkins with 6 home runs on the season with some power.
Off-speed pitch, 1-1. It's a brilliant pitch, just drops into the zone. Hawkins sitting on a little bit of speed, it appears. There was the fastball. That misses low.
At this point for NC State, though, I think you're just looking to get some runners on. Get points on the board is all you need. Get runs.
Upstairs, hitters count at 3-1. On the Northern Illinois dugout side, the Delaware State Hornets getting some warm-up swings in. Right now they are slated to play next against, most likely, the winner of this game. We are locked in a tight one here. Full count pitch. Right back up to second. Great backhand play by Harnish, and she'll finish it out. Good range by Harnish as she sprinted back over toward the middle of the infield, makes the play on the backhand, and fires it back over to Howlett for the 4-3 putout.
Hannah Summer.
Hannah Summer will get her at bat here. Struck out early in the ball game. Summer did have a home run yesterday. Turns on that one, fouls it down the third base line.
That one just inside on the hands. She worked with it.
Lowered the barrel of the bat, really made good contact with it. She's forced Sean Rychik all the way down, practically into the shallow foul portion of the outfield. Rychik has been in the way of a couple foul balls, hasn't been hit yet, but he's been playing dodgeball down there on the third base line. That one creeps in there for a strike. Good off-speed pitch. I think Alex Friends is realizing that off-speed pitch may be her friend now. She's not going to attack the NC State hitters nearly as much, especially as you crawl back toward the top of the lineup. Summer does wait on that one, stays alive on a foul ball.
Yeah, a lot of these NC State hitters are definitely waiting on speed. Off-speed pitches have not been too kind to them today.
One-two delivery. Down the pike, called strike 3.
And in that instance, Summer is just not waiting on speed. She did 2 straight off-speed pitches, was possibly looking for a third, and speed
Now
just caught her off guard.
Number 9.
Well, 2 up, 2 down. Hannah Yeager, right fielder, digging in here. Yeager, a junior, batting a paltry 107, but hasn't appeared in as many games, hasn't started in as many games as some of her counterparts in the batting lineup. Molly Martin on deck. That one in the dirt, quickly 2-0 in favor of Yeager. Friends into the motion, the delivery. That one misses outside, 3-0. You got to wonder, is Alex Friends really starting to play around with pitches here and ensuring that she keeps it out of a hitting area? Yeager offers to that one, banks it right off of Woolard, the third baseman, and she'll reach.
Interesting that she decided to swing on a 3-0 count there, but...
Well, Sean Rychik has favored that.
Turned to be a good decision, nevertheless.
Well, Brittany Nimmo hitting this spot last time, and this time it's going to be Jessica Moore to jog back up and into the batter's box. The freshman has hit in this situation before. And she'll get some instruction from Sean Rychik. Macaulay Prickett on deck.
Now into hit for the Wolfpack.
Yeager down on first base.
Jessica Moore.
This is the way that Moore has been used for most of the season. It hasn't played in the field a lot, but has gotten opportunities at the plate. Line up of the pitch. That one upstairs, Yeager. Good healthy lead. Called strike one in the upper portion of the plate to Moore. The delivery here. Popped straight up. Woolard is under it. Makes the catch for the out. The pinch hitter does not work out for Sean Rychik and company. NC State does not plate a run. Scoreless fourth inning. We'll head to frame number 5. You're watching the Doubletree RDU Challenge. NC State and Northern Illinois tied at 3. GoPack.com and Wolfpack Sports Television. Back to Raleigh. True Blevins alongside Sam LaFell. 3-3 softball game here between NC State and Northern Illinois. State deadlocked in a battle really for the first time all tournament. They run-ruled both of their opponents yesterday. Most likely, NC State will be playing Delaware State or Loyola in their next ball game. If they win, it's Delaware State at 2:30. If they do not, it is Loyola at 4:15. Alyssa Compton is out on second base now for NC State. Molly Martin with the exit from the game after the pinch hitter Moore comes in for the second replacement of Martin in the batter's box of the day. Ball one is Harley Hubbard back in the circle here.
And Harley Hubbard, I mean, up to this point, has done pretty much everything you could ask her to have done. All 3 outs after those 3 runs given up in the top half of the third. 3 pretty easy outs coming in the top half of the fourth with a questionable thrown out call at second on the steal. Now coming here in the fourth, 2-0 count to start, but looking to
Emily
keep this going.
Nagley, the cleanup hitter at the plate. Watches that one, 3-0 start. Nagley, Howlett, Woolard, 4, 5, 6 in the lineup. The good news for Northern Illinois is you've got those 3 coming up here in the 5th. You'll have your bottom 3 in the 6th. And you do get back up to the top and middle portion of your lineup in the 7th inning. NC State is going to turn it over to the bottom half of their lineup, 9-1-2, next half inning. Called strike as that one's delivered right down the pipe. Nagley has struck out and hit into a fielder's choice earlier in the ball game.
This is the hitter you want to have success against if you're the NC State pitching staff. I mean, 500 on the season coming into the game. Now we've got a full count after that strike on the outside corner, just as Hubbard had been working in the first 2 innings that she had pitched.
We absolutely love to see that.
So I wouldn't be surprised if she went right back to the outside corner and tried to get Nagley to... Nope.
Nagley to Van Dyken off the heel of her glove. Strong throw to first. Safe! Good hustle from Emily Nagley, the catcher. Busting it down the first base line. She earned that one. That'll be scored a base hit. And for no other reason, that's just because of the hustle down the first base line. Van Dyken with an excellent throw to Meredith Burrows. Good recovery on the fielding, but Nagley beats it out by about a half step, and now a pinch runner in the ball game for the catcher.
This will be number 6, Jordan Bowen, coming in for Northern Illinois.
Bowen, a junior utility player.
Now in the pitch run at first
More
base,
speed out of the base
number 6,
paths.
Jordan Bowen.
And Abby Howlett, who had a home run in her last at bat,
Now batting number
coming in
20,
here.
Abby Howlett.
Howlett will line up deep in that batter's box. Hubbard has liked to attack her batting side at the plate. We'll see if she's going to opt to go outside or stay in. She goes in that time, misses on a ball. You got to be a very confident pitcher if you're going to go inside to Howlett. Did hit one opposite way earlier, but trying to pull it from her swings here. That one misses outside off of Hutchison's glove. Free pass for Bowen down to second base. That's a pass ball on Molly Hutchison. That one just sort of took an awkward bounce out of her glove as it looked like it hit her straight in the pocket and just didn't squeeze the mitt quite tight enough. Runner in scoring position, nobody out for NIU. That one misses outside. 3-0.
I think the left-handed battiness is messing her up a little bit, messing Hubbard up. Not sure where to go.
That one down the pipe. Good pitch. Thing with Hubbard is she'll sort of force you to take that pitch even if you did want to swing at 3-0 because she is going to cook that one right down the pipe. A lot of speed on her fastball. 3-1 hitters count. Solid fastball once again. And I got to believe that she's pushing somewhere between 65 and 70 on some of these pitches. Full count once again. Hubbard eyes the target, rocks, fires, upstairs. Howlett down to first base.
Now batting number
Tough one to
24,
swallow. That's the right
Randy
call. That
Bowen.
ball was up in the zone, past the top of the zone here, and Sean Reichik is going to come out. And Harley Hubbard is going to leave a couple of ducks on the pond. And Courtney Mirabella is going to come into the ball game here. Sean Reichik looked like he wanted to save Mirabella as long as he could, but nonetheless, in comes the junior phenom. Mirabella makes her way into the ball game. Harley Hubbard's day is done, most likely. Mirabella, solid outing against Loyola last night. 8-0 victory for the Wolfpack in 5.
Number 3, Courtney Mirabella.
Sean Reichik is going to have a meeting out there with the infield. And Sam, dangerous situation for NC State. If you're Sean Reichik, what are you telling your team?
I'm telling my team first just to go to third. I think it's easier. Well, if the ball goes to the right side of the field, you're going to first. But if the ball's on the left side of the field, obviously ground ball in the infield, you're going to third first, and then you're probably throwing it over to first base if you can get them. But I'm just thinking keeping them far away from home as you can because you have your 9-1-2 coming up. You have the opportunity to score runs, but you don't want NIU to get on the board. I think that's my first concern.
Elaney Woolard is the batter coming up here. With runners on first and second, nobody out. And you almost wonder here, you are getting to the lower portion of your hitting lineup. I'm not so sure if I was Coach Sutcliffe that I wouldn't call a bunt to try to move these two runners over and then see what you can do if you can manufacture a base hit, a sac fly. But Northern Illinois cannot afford to come out of this inning having scored none, especially when they've got their first two runners on base. Woolard has struck out twice in this ball game, but they are going to keep her in there. Valuable third baseman. That's what we talked about. I mean, Woolard sort of in that awkward hitting position in that 6-hole here.
Pretty consistent numbers from her on the season. I mean, 4 home runs, second on the team. Good start for Mirabella here, just putting one right down the middle.
Mirabella Likes to work as quickly as she can. Wind up in the delivery. There's the bunt right back over to Mirabella. She'll fire to first. Both runners advance. It's a solid bunt. You wonder, Mirabella might could have gotten that one over to second, but smart play to at least get one out.
Now batting number 19.
And that's going to bring Dominique Greeno to the plate.
With the way she fired that ball to first base, she probably could have gotten the runner at second.
Runners on second and third. One out for Greeno. Grounded out to third, struck out earlier in the game. Inside ball one to Greeno.
And everybody is playing a little bit more up than usual, so they are defending the run at home.
Certainly no doubles defense right now as Hawkins and Burrows are past parallel with the bag. That one upstairs. Good snag by Hutchison behind the plate. Two and 0, one out. Mirabella needing a strike. Rocks fires. There's the bunt squeeze play. Back to home. Run's going to score. Mirabella throw to first. Drop.
Safe.
Save. Runners on the corners. One out. Northern Illinois takes the lead again.
That was just a well-executed bunt by NIU. Well placed.
Well. Runner out on first.
Designated player Dominique Greeno, good bunt there, but not paying attention as Courtney Mirabella was standing in the circle, and you can't take off from first base while the pitcher's standing in the circle with the ball.
And that's what Coach Sutcliffe's going to come over to have the discussion about here. It took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting her to dart down to second base. And that's exactly why. If the pitcher got the ball in a circle, you can't go anywhere. Christina Sutcliffe certainly having a hard discussion right now with Randy McLam. She's got to be careful. McLam, fairly patient as most softball umpires are. And now he is going to call a meeting of the umpires here to see should there have been a legal advancement. This is interesting. This is just one of those rare plays unique to softball. I mean, runners are going at any point in baseball typically, but pitcher with the ball in the circle freezes the runners.
Which is why I don't know what the conversation would be about.
Well, did that ball come into the circle late? Was she already off the bag? In which case she would be entitled to move.
Yeah, that's what I was possibly missed something.
The out will stand. So not quite the dangerous situation that Northern Illinois hoped to put NC State in.
Number 5, Becca Harnish.
And after the bunt, it's now 2 outs. Run does score, runner on third. Becca Harnish advanced to first on a balk and was walked earlier. So she's reached base twice. Now going to be asked to hit the ball as that one's high and inside. Two-0 delivery from Mirabella, right back up the middle. That's an RBI single from Becca Harnish. 5-3, the Huskies lead. What a piece of hitting as that one's right back practically on second base. And it's a 2-run lead now for the Huskies. Great piece of hitting from Becca Harnish.
Does a good job by Harnish there to just rip that ball right back up the middle. Staff going to come out, talk to Mirabella a little bit, get her to stay calm, try to keep things low, get out of this inning without any more runs coming in.
That's exactly what Katie Grimes is going to say out there. Sean Reichik is leaning up against the dugout post. For State, here's what's at stake for them. The number 1 seed going into the bracketed portion of the tournament. If they win, they play immediately following the conclusion of this game against Delaware State. If they lose, their opponent would be Loyola. And honestly, if you just look at it from the standpoint, you'd rather be playing Delaware State. Loyola is a very dangerous softball club. They do have a couple of power hitters that didn't show themselves against NC State, but coming into this tournament, Loyola was 13-4.
I mean, the best record out of any of the teams in
Best
this
overall.
tournament. Best overall record. So nothing to shake your head at. And they did beat Delaware State in the game before this one, 3-2. So nothing to shake your head at pitching-wise either.
2 opening balls here to the 9-hole hitter, Caitlin Warren. She fouls that one back in the screen. No panic in the State dugout, at least as of yet. They've had some explosive 5th innings in recent ball games, most notably against Charlotte and Virginia Tech. Both of those were wins for the Wolfpack. Critical win last Sunday against the Hokies, 7-5. That's a bunt right on the chalk foul. Wheeling around was Becca Harnish. She was practically already at third base when that ball was called down. Harnish only 1 for 1 stealing, but looked fairly quick on that jump off the bunt.
She just kept on trotting.
2 outs, 2-2 count. Mirabella eyes the target. Rocks, fires, swing and a miss. Strike 3. NC State gets out of the inning with a runner stranded on first base, but the damage has been done. Northern Illinois plates a pair of runs in the top of the 5th. NC State needing an answer, coming to bat. 9-1-2 in the order, on the way. You're watching NC State softball on Wolfpack Sports Television and GoPack. Welcome back to Curtis and Jacqueline Dale Softball Stadium. Drew Blevins alongside of Sam LaFell. Things getting a little hairy for the Wolfpack as we head into the bottom of the 5th. Macaulay Prickett, Lana Van Dyke, and Tyler Ross. The batters up in that order for the Pack. 5-3, Northern Illinois leads after a 2-run top of the 5th inning. State needing an answer. Line of the pitch. No go on the check swing from Macaulay Prickett. Ball 1 on the low ball. The delivery from Friends. That one bounces awkwardly off the catcher, Nagley. Up and into the screen. Sam, Friends is going to have to show a little bit more control, especially with some critical batters coming up for the Wolfpack.
Yeah, maybe not this at-bat super important, but you got 1-2, Lana Van Dyke, and especially Tyler Ross, who soloed back in that 3rd inning. He's going to need to rein it in a little bit. Starting off 3-0 to the first batter in the inning is not a good sign.
That is a called strike. Prickett, slap hitter. We'll see what she opts to do here. Wind up and the pitch. And that one misses. Low ball 4. Macaulay Prickett is down to first base with a leadoff walk. NC State in business as the tying run comes to the plate.
Putting a runner on for Lana Van Dyke.
Now batting.
See what she can do with this.
Lana Van Dyke.
I always appreciate it when the bottom half of your order can get on base in any way.
Van Dyken watches that one bounce in. Prickett opting not to go. Probably a good move in that situation as well. Good pickup by Nagley. Van Dyken has walked in this ball game, also flew out to center. Van Dyken right back into the batter's box, the senior shortstop. Offers at that one, according to the home plate umpire, Marty Abizadian.
Possible she
1-1.
didn't pull back in time.
Very close, that is for certain. That one's upstairs, 2-1. It's been a very vocal crowd here today. Good showing at Curtis and Jacqueline Dale Softball Stadium.
Good showing. Great weather for it, too.
Oh, without a doubt. This time last year in the Doubletree Classic tournament, it was not, as Lana Van Dyken singles right between the first and second baseman. Ducks on the pond for Tyler Ross.
If you're NC State's offense, exactly what you want. Start off the inning, you're 9-1 getting on. Tyler Ross coming up, already with 2 RBIs in the game off of a home run and that smack into left field in the first inning. So
She'd love to have another here, has a double and a deep ball to her name today. Runners on first and second. That one's upstairs.
Ross, as you said earlier, just walks with some swagger, plays with swagger, just shows this character in the box. I mean, she's such a good player.
That one's a called strike down the pipe. Molly Hutchison is on deck. Hutchison singled and struck out looking in a ball game. Ross is 2 for 2. That one's outside. Ross right back in, not afraid to attack at the pitcher, ahead of the batter's box here. That one misses, and now it is getting into dangerous territory here for the Huskies. NIU needing an out here, or else the bases are loaded for the 3 and possibly 4 hitters as well. Here's the pitch. That one's a called strike.
I guess
solid pitch, just upper inside corner.
If you're going to pitch to Tyler Ross, I guess that's one of the places you need to put it.
Didn't offer at it. Full count. The delivery. Ross, swing and a miss.
Ooh,
strike
man.
3. That is a huge strikeout for Alex Friends. 1 away. And Molly Hutchison comes up to the plate.
Number 7.
Unfortunately,
Molly
Tyler Ross is also the
Hutchison.
team's leader in strikeouts with 17 on the season. With great power comes great responsibility.
She bounces that one back over for Friends. The throw down to third. Got her! Macaulay Prickett doesn't like it. She thought she was in. Third base umpire Philip Friels disagrees, and his word is law. And another major out for Northern Illinois. Meredith Burrows, the cleanup hitter, to the plate here.
The momentum of this inning shifted very quickly.
Still runners on first and second, but this time with 2 outs. And a quick meeting of the infielders with Alex Friends.
Meredith Burrows.
Burrows in the ball game, hit into a fielder's choice, struck out. Friends has had success against the middle part of this NC State lineup, with the exception of Tyler Ross, who she was able to just strike out earlier in the inning. First pitch to Burrows. Called strike. Maggie Hawkins is on deck. Lined up in the pitch. That one misses outside.
This is a huge at-bat for Alex Friends, not only for this inning, but just for the 6th and 7th innings also. If you get this out, then you have 5, 6, 7, then 8, 9, 1, the 6th and 7th innings respectively. So focusing on the bottom half of this lineup, if you can get this out right here, and that was a good start, 1-2 count.
State does have a couple of pinch hitters that they can use at their disposal should they choose to. Major 1-2 pitch here. Swung on by Burrows. She'll stay alive on a foul. It's a good pitch, too. Burrows sort of waving at it on the outside portion of the plate. Hit the underside of her bat. She puts it back behind home. Burrows digging right back in here. 1-2 delivery. Swung on. She waited on it. Pops it up. It's going to stay in play. Nagley is under it. She's going to defer to Woolard. And after what looked like it was going to be a comeback fifth inning for NC State, 3 straight outs for the Huskies. Monumental, and Northern Illinois will look to build on their lead going into the top of the 6th. 5-3, Huskies leading the Wolfpack at the Doubletree RDU Challenge, which you are watching on Wolfpack Sports Television and GoPack.com. 1, 2, and 3 up in the order for Northern Illinois. Kaylee Kosakowski, Katie Lamich, Jenny Van Geertree in that order. Courtney Mirabella needs to get out of this inning unscathed and get the bats back in her roster's hands.
Leading off for the Huskies, number 32, Kaylee Kosakowski.
Very important top half of this inning for.
Well, and for Kosakowski, she'd love nothing more than to get back on base. She's been there a couple times today, courtesy of a single and a walk. Also reached on a fielder's choice. Looked like she wanted to lay down the bunt there, but pulls it back. Ball 1. For NC State, things just not working the way they were last night. Sean Reichik probably going to make some adjustments going into the next ball game, and whether it be at 2:30 or 4:30, can imagine that he's going to jostle the lineup around just a little bit. We did mention Alyssa Compton is out on second base. She replaced Molly Martin back in the last inning.
8 hits given up total for NC State yesterday between the 2 games. 6 here today. Also 0 runs given up yesterday with 5 today.
That one misses. 4-pitch walk. And Kaylee Kosakowski is on first again.
Now batting number 10, Katie Lamich.
Katie Lamich will dig in for the Huskies here. NIU in business. They're starting to smell it.
Do believe Kosakowski's tried to steal twice today. So
she was tagged out earlier. Wouldn't surprise me if she opted to go here. And right there it was. Good jump. Hutchison pulls that ball back into the throwing position. Mirabella rocks, fires. That one's down the pipe for strike 1. Delaware State continuing to stay warm over in the hitting cage area.
Knowing that barring a crazy scoring inning for NC State, they will be playing in the next game.
It's only a 2-run game here, Sam. It's not out of the realm of possibility. NC State has had success in the bottom half of their lineup this weekend, and they need to try to build it up again. 1-2 pitch. Slapped right back over Mirabella's head. Compton fields, throws to first. Gets Lamich out. Kosakowski moves into scoring position at second.
Only instance in which Delaware State would not be playing in the next game is if NC State wins and puts 9 runs on the board this game. And that
well, no, wins by 9 runs.
Wins by 9 runs.
That's the crazy scoring inning you're talking about.
All right.
One ball on the opening pitch to Van Geertree here. That one just misses inside.
Maybe I need to go to the eye doctor. It looked like a strike to me.
Marty Abazadian. He's drawing some groans from the crowd. And this one's going to be popped up. Compton under it. There's the second out of the inning.
Good job by Mirabella so far in this inning, just to not panic with the runner on base, not panic with the 2 runs down. Just do her thing and work with the batters that she's given.
Emily Nagley to the plate here. Struck out but has 2 runs scored to her name. Reached first on a fielder's choice and wheeled around the score on the home run from Amy Howlett, and then singled and eventually came around to the RBI single by Harnish. That one's down the pipe. Good start here for Mirabella. 0-2 pitch here, 2 outs. Nagley waving the bat on her shoulder. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss!
There it is. First pitch was a ball. So
I take that back.
1-2 count.
Over on the scoreboard, they were updating the out count. So it is 1-2. It's probably the best strike 2 call you've ever heard from a broadcaster. That one is crushed. If it's fair, it's gone. Off the foul pole. It's gone. Northern Illinois with a 2-run shot. It's 7-3 for the Huskies. Emily Nagley takes Mirabella deep off the heavy metal, 7-3.
Nagley is the team leader in home runs this season. That'll be her 6th home run on the season.
7-3, back-to-back 2-run innings for the Huskies. And Abby Howlett digging in. That one's up and away. The Huskies suffered a heartbreaking loss in their first game against Delaware State, and they're about to break the hearts of the Wolfpack if they can hold it down defensively. Solid cut from Howlett. Comes up empty, 1-1.
Well, as you said earlier, no panic in the NC State dugout just yet, and now's about the time when you start to worry. Down by 4, you've got 6 defensive outs left to make something happen.
Mirabella going to try to get out of this inning. She's ahead in the count at 1-2. Wind up at a pitch. Out misses low.
And not really the fault of the pitching staff for NC State on this one. I mean, you've thrown all 3 pitchers that you have available to you. NIU is just on their game today.
Well, the tough thing is you've given up 2 home runs, which have accounted for the majority of runs scored here. Swing and a miss, strike 3, as Howlett is retired by Mirabella. But it's a 2-run shot from Emily Nagley that doubles the lead for Northern Illinois. NC State in a bad way, needing some offense. Coming up here, 7-3. State grabbing the lumber in the bottom of the 6th. You're watching NC State Softball on GoPack.com and Wolfpack Sports. Welcome back to the Doubletree RDU Challenge. Drew Blevins alongside Sam LaFell. NC State trying to string together a comeback. They're down 4-7-3 to Northern Illinois Huskies. Team that has a 1-1 record in this tournament. NC State at 2-0 with a couple of run rule wins last evening against Delaware State and Loyola Chicago, respectively. 5, 6, 7 in the batting order coming up for NC State. Maggie Hawkins, Hannah Summer, Hannah Yeager. And it's going to be a leadoff single for Maggie Hawkins. She swings at the first pitch, and it's a seeing eye single right under the glove of the second baseman, Harnish, and NC State's in business.
And I was just about to say, Drew, all NC State needs to do here is put runners on. Sure, you're down by 4 runs, but 4 runs can come with 1 swing of the bat if you have the bases loaded. So not too much panic, but focus on getting your runners on base more so than trying to hit the ball hard.
Hannah Summer to the plate. She struck out looking and swinging in the ball game today. First pitch to her is a ball. Big at bat here for Summer. She went deep last night. That one creeps in there. Strike 1.
Friends again with the off-speed dandy.
Alex Friends has really been working her off-speed pitch as well. That one right back up the middle. That's going to be a single. NC State back-to-back base knocks. Look out, the Wolfpack are in business, and this is the production you needed to have so you can get back around to your power hitters when the time comes. Hannah Yeager digging in here, but first it's going to be a convention of infielders in the pitching circle.
This is also not an unfamiliar situation for NIU or NC State, as we just saw in the last inning, putting runners on first and second with nobody out, and then quickly getting 2 outs with the strikeout for Tyler Ross. So NC State not out of the woods just yet, but working their way there towards the light.
Number 9, Hannah.
Northern Illinois does have 5 more pitchers in the dugout right now at their disposal, but unless Alex Friends is just absolutely winded, they're all right-handed, and there's not a whole lot of reason to warm them up. Yeager takes ball 1. Bat high on the shoulder of Yeager. Here's the pitch. That's a cold strike. Good pitch outside. Yeager didn't want to reach for it. It's a good take as well. Alyssa Compton on deck. That one, slow ball released late upstairs. Those breaking pitches have thrown off State batters' timing all game long from Friends. Going back with a speed offered at by Yeager. Nothing doing. 2-2. It's a good swing from Yeager, but just behind it, and that's why it's critical to have both the fastball and the slow ball working. And there's another one. High gas, strikeout. 1 out in the inning.
Bottom of the 5th inning, 2 on, nobody out, strikeout Tyler Ross. Bottom of the 6th inning, 2 on, nobody out, strikeout Hannah Yeager. Very characteristic of the last inning here. Let's see if Alyssa Compton, 8-hole, can break this trend.
Alyssa Compton, second baseman. She'll take a ball there. Jessica Moore, who batted in this slot a couple of innings ago. One and one out. Big slot here for Compton. Right back up the middle, a bouncer. That's a play at second. Double play completed. Northern Illinois gets out of the inning unscathed on a superb defensive play from Kozakowski, who fires it over. The double play takes us into the 7th inning. NIU leading NC State 7-3. Huskies coming to bat in the top of the 7th. You're watching NC State softball on Wolfpack Sports Television and GoPack.com. Well, NC State had the wind taken out of their sails in the back end of the 6th. Double play by Kozakowski sends them back to the dugout. Good news for the Wolfpack is they did shift the order. They'll go 9-1-2 in the back end of the 7th here. They're going to need 3 defensive out here. Elaney Woolard into bat for Northern Illinois. Greeno in the hole. Greeno on deck. Harnish in the hole. First pitch, ball. First time All-Tournament State's going to go 7 innings. And they did this last year as well, sort of coughed up a game, and not the best effort to Longwood.
The Longwood game.
And then they nearly found themselves on the bitter end of a extra innings loss to Lipscomb, but a booted pop fly allowed NC State to score, and they defeated Lipscomb 1-0.
That was the most intense 1-0 softball game I've ever watched.
It's also the game that Emily Wyman set the school single-game record for strikeouts. 2-2 after that pitch. Northern Illinois really trying to avenge what was a poor performance in a 9-inning loss to Delaware State, 6-5. That one's popped up. Hawkins, good beat on it. And Van Dyken comes over, makes the catch, I believe, but ran into Hawkins. Both of them are going to get up okay. Little communication error, but no harm, no foul. With the pop out by Woolard. 1 up, 1 down.
And that's so tricky as the third baseman. I mean, you're the closest one to that ball. You want to get it, but shortstop's captain of the infield, so they call it, you got to let it off, or let off on it.
That one bounces into Hutchison, hard off the chest protector. One-0 count. Dominique Greeno at the plate. Struck out. She was the one who reached base after a bunt and then was called out for leaving early from the bag after the ball was thrown back into Courtney Mirabella, who was already stationed in the pitching circle. It's illegal base running. 1-0 count. Called strike. Good pitch from Mirabella.
Certainly this time around, Mirabella is just going to try to keep her off the bag in the first place.
On deck is Becca Harnish. She's had a really good game from the 8-hole spot. Single, reached on a balk, reached on a walk. Quickly 1-2 against Greeno.
It's exactly what you want to do for Courtney Mirabella this time around. Just don't think about it too much. Throw your pitches, get out of this top half of the inning, and let your bats go to work in the bottom half.
Wind up in the delivery upstairs. A little bit of that nervous angst and a little bit of mixed in silence for the Pack faithful here. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike three. Mirabella gets the strikeout, 2 outs in the inning, and now it falls on Becca Harnish.
Great pitch there by Mirabella, just get him chasing a little bit. Nothing too dangerous to throw in the zone there.
Harnish came into this ball game batting 176, does have a single, and as we said, reached on a balk and reached on a walk. So she's found ways to get on base, which is always a nice asset to have in your weapons arsenal.
Quick start, 0-2 for Mirabella in this at-bat, which is real good.
And Mirabella trying to get the bats back in her offense's hands. Pitch away from doing so, but she might waste one here. Wind up at the delivery. Nope, goes for the attack and misses low and away. Harnish back in the box. Mirabella ahead in the count, 1-2. Rocks back, fires. And that one is crushed down the third base line, foul.
That was a nice cut.
Harnish, great contact, barreled a ball, but over-pulled it over the NC State bullpen. Another 1-2. That one upstairs. Deuces aside in the count. Pair of outs as well. Here's the delivery. Swung on, popped out of play, and up into the concourse.
Awfully close to some heads over there, but luckily it didn't hit anyone.
No, that actually may have grazed off this light post. It's just directly to our right. It's 2 light poles hit today. 2-2, clubbed down the third baseline foul.
Another good cut here in this at-bat.
Really good plate appearance for Harnish as she's continuing to battle and making it very tough on Mirabella, keeping the count even at 2.
Coming into the game, she was batting 176 on the season. She does not look like a 100 hitter at all.
Not at all. Here's the pitch. That one she's going to watch for a ball high and inside, full count. Mirabella cannot afford to let Harnish wriggle off the hook here. 9-hole hitters Caitlin Warren. She struck out the past 2 at-bats, so it's not the end of the world. Wind up at the pitch. She walked her. And you can credit that walk directly to Becca Harnish for battling at the plate, fouling off some difficult pitches.
Number 23, Caitlin Warren.
Caitlin Warren will come in here. Warren has a double, 2 strikeouts on the day, 1 for 3. So a little bit of danger here. Mirabella sends it upstairs, ball 1. NC State's going to look back on this ball game if they cannot find a way to come back in the back end of the 7th. And you're going to look at the pitching, and there's been some control issues. They've sent some down the middle, given up 2 home runs. And Katie Grimes has seen enough for now. She's going to come out and have a discussion with Courtney Mirabella and Molly Hutchison. And where you really get in trouble is if Warren does reach base, you're back to the top of the lineup with Kaylee Kosakowski.
And this isn't something that NC State really can afford to be worrying about right now. I mean, they have bigger things to focus on, such as the bottom half of the 7th inning.
Well, Hutchison will take the walk back to home. Grimes back to the State dugout. Arguably the biggest play of this ball game was the Emily Nagley home run that stretched the lead from 2 to 4 for NIU. Here's the first pitch. Slapped up into the screen. 2-1.
Because a 2-run lead versus a 4-run lead for both teams. I mean, for NC State, it just kind of takes the wind out from behind your sails. You know, 2 runs, it feels like it's a lot more doable than 4 runs.
Let's also not forget State has committed 2 defensive errors as well. That one's fouled into the screen. Count even at 2.
That ball was coming for me if there wasn't a net there.
Don't worry, we had you.
I played ball for a few years. Probably could have caught it with my face.
2-2 off the foul. 2 outs. Here's the delivery. Swung on. Popped up. Mirabella in the circle. She's got it. Didn't have to move a step. NC State retires the side, and it's going to be comeback time here in Raleigh. Is it a cardiac pack comeback today? They're down 4. 3 outs to go. NC State coming to bat. You're watching NC State softball on GoPack.com and Wolfpack Sports Television. Back to Curtis and Jacqueline Dale Softball Stadium. NC State down 4 in the bottom of the 7th. They're going to need to catch fire and catch fire quickly. 9-1-2 in the batting order. That does guarantee Tyler Ross a plate appearance. Macaulay Prickett is going to come up to bat first, though. Reached on a walker last at bat.
As we've seen,
Alex Friends has been hot.
The last 2 innings, starting with Macaulay Prickett in the 5th inning. You got the first 2 runners on, and then the third person is struck out. So NC State not really having trouble getting runners on the last 2 innings, getting trouble producing anything from that.
That's strike 1. Prickett right on the front of the batter's box. That's a called strike on the outside portion of the plate. 1-2 against Prickett. If Prickett is out here, a lot of this falls on Atlanta Van Dyken in my mind, as she's going to try to get it back in the power alley. Prickett bounces one down to Woolard on third. Throw high. Good catch by Howlett. And Prickett is retired.
And just as you said, Prickett gets out. A lot of it falls on Landon Van Dyken. Landon Van Dyken gets out here, puts Tyler Ross up with 2 outs, and that just...
Well, a lot of it falls on Ross, generally speaking, is the beginning of the power portion of the lineup. But for Van Dyken, she needs to make sure that at least there's another out to play with for NC State. Ball 1 to Atlanta Van Dyken, the senior shortstop. She's reached first base twice today, once on a walk, once on a single. Also flew out to center. Here's the delivery. That one's outside, ball 2. And now if I'm Van Dyken in this scenario, I'm waiting for a strike to be thrown before I'm swinging the bat. You'll take any advantage NIU is willing to give you, especially a free 75 feet. That is a called strike. So now she's seen it. 2-1 count in Van Dyken's favor. Wind up in the delivery. Swings at that one. Up the middle. Great stab from Alex Friends. And State's down to their last out. That was a nice little flared single up the middle until Alex Friends reached the mid up there and grabbed it.
I mean, the one person you'd want to have up right now is exactly who is up, though, in Tyler Ross.
Yep, nobody out there to help her, though. Ross digging in. Sees an inside, strike one. Ross will dig back in here. State down to their last out. Alex Friends has pitched to Jim.
Last
strike two.
Just as we mentioned earlier, NC State likes to come out fast, come out strong. NIU did a great job of suppressing that effort as much as they could in the first inning, not letting anything in the second inning. So they've done a lot to win this game.
Ross sends this one high. It's deep. Under it is one. The ball game is over. Northern Illinois has defeated NC State 7-3, and they will go back-to-back, taking on the Delaware State Hornets in the next matchup. NC State will face Loyola somewhere in the 4:30 time frame, and they will take a break. Sam LaFell, this is not the game NC State wanted to have, as it will be very, very difficult for them to face Loyola, who is starting to catch a little bit of fire in their last game with the bats, especially with a hitter like Widerski. Brooke Widerski is sitting somewhere in that 3-hole. This is a dangerous team they're going to have to play.
Yeah, NC State beat Loyola yesterday 8-0, but Loyola's a 3-2 victory earlier today. I mean, I'm thinking they're coming out, looking for revenge, seeking blood on the Wolfpack. So NC State's going to have to calm down, prepare for the next game, and be ready to fight. Major
win for Northern Illinois. Again, the final count is 7-3. We'll be back on air with NC State Loyola when that game starts, which should be somewhere between 4:30 and 5 o'clock, so long as the tournament stays on schedule. Until then, signing off for the rest of our crew. For Sam LaFell, I'm Drew Blevins. The final score from Raleigh, Northern Illinois 7, NC State 3. We'll see you for the next game of the Doubletree RDU Challenge. Thanks for watching NC State Softball on GoPack.com and Wolfpack Sports Television, bringing you into the pack. Hope to see you this afternoon.